You're watching the 50 States of AR-15 on Big Gunner 81. Brought to you by BATArms.com.
Welcome everybody to the 50 States of AR-15 project. I'm your host Rick, aka Big Gunner 81, and we're going to be talking with Brady Speth of RITON Optics, RITON USA, out of Arizona, which you're going to see on the Arizona rifle build. We got one of his optics on here. So we're going to talk a little bit with him and find out some information about his company and things like that. So welcome, Brady. Thanks for being with us.
Perfect. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Always. So tell us a little bit about your company, RITON. It's RITON USA, correct? Or just RITON?
Yep. It's RITON USA is the official name of the company. We brand everything, just RITON is the name that we put on all the scopes and everything. So either one works. Cool.
I know I saw the name. I was like, is it RITON? How do you say it, you know? But then I saw the box too. And by the way, I'll show the people who are watching this. Your packaging, pretty progressive stuff. You know, of course, there's like on here, RITON target, RITON price, RITON service. I really like, I gotta tell you this off the bat. I like how this box has the magnets that hold it shut.
Right?
The box is very impressive.
The good news is no one ever throws our boxes away. So
no.
It's its own little piece of advertising right there because it ends up on their desk or
when you have a nice optic, you usually want to keep the box from it because you know maybe one day you're going to switch it from one rifle to another or something.
Right.
And you just like to have everything in one place, and this box is nice. So definitely going to be sitting on the shelf for some time.
I like it. Yeah, I think I have 2 or 3 at my house just for coins and for random stuff. So we even keep them laying around.
So tell us a little bit about like how did you get started into the optics business?
So RITON as a company has been around we've been in business for about 4.5 years. I'm former military and former federal law enforcement. I actually started kind of in the optics world as when I was federal law enforcement. I started consulting for an optics company, and that was kind of my entrance into the realm of like the business side of optics. I've obviously been a user for pretty much my entire life. I started hunting, you know, when I was 5, 6 years old when I grew up in Montana. So I've been shooting, hunting my entire life, but there's a difference between like the user end of optics and like the business side and design and that side of it. So I kind of got my first real taste of it. I started consulting, mainly for kind of trying to find out what type of optics some of the different departments and some of the different law enforcement entities were looking for. And that's kind of how I got my start. And then long story short, it kind of ran from there. I was given the opportunity to kind of work on some designs for some of the optics, and then met the right people and really was kind of attached to some of my designs. What actually turned into our Mod 3 and Mod 5 rifle scopes that we first released. So that kind of turned into, with the right connections, we started designing our own. And yeah, it kind of ran from there.
So you mentioned the Mod 3. That's basically what we have on the Arizona rifle, I believe. RTS Mod 3?
Yep, that one's Mod 3, 1 to 4 by 24. Non-illuminated version. We have that same scope in an illuminated version as well. Yeah, those were some of our first designs. We have that one in a 1 to 4 within that model line all the way up to a 6 to 24 by 50. And really those kind of cater to the AR market, to the AR platform. They have a BDC reticle that is set for the 223. And that was kind of our first designs, was perfecting and kind of coming to market with an optic that kind of fits in with the AR platform.
Very cool. Yeah, I know it'd be perfect for like doing 3-gun and so forth like that.
Yeah, exactly. It has the BDC out to 600 yards, so it definitely is for quick acquisition and quick target engagement, which is nice.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about some of your other lineup and other products that you have. I know we saw the scope rings on there.
Yeah, yep. We do 1-inch and 30 mil scope rings from low to high. Actually, later this month we're coming out with our first one-piece QE mounts in 30 mil and 1-inch. As far as optics goes, we started with our Mod 3 and then our Mod 5 series. Mod 3, like I said, is more AR platform based. Mod 5 is more of what we consider our general hunting, general shooting, which it means just that it's not caliber specific. It's more, you can strap it to any gun. You can strap it to your 300 Win Mag and go hunting. You can put it on your 17 HMR. You can kind of use it for anything. And those were our first 2 main lines. About 2 months ago now, we just came out with our Mod 7 series, which is kind of our interpretation of a little bit higher end optic. We have currently on the market, we have our 4 to 20 by 50 that you can see come up right there. And we have our 5 to 25 by 56. So those are our two kind of higher end Mod 7 lines, and our 1 to 5 by 24 illuminated with our quick acquisition reticle, which is aimed directly at the 3-gun market, and will be coming out a little bit later this month.
Nice.
So those are a little step up. Those are all final assembled in Japan. So you get a little higher quality, little tighter tolerances. We do use Japanese glass in all of our optics, so you get a good quality glass in every single one of our optics, no matter what the price point, even our $200 little 22 scope, all the way up through our Mod 7 series. So that's one thing we definitely pride ourselves on, is kind of the clarity of our glass and the durability of it. And the page you have up right now, these were actually our Mod 3 RRD, our rifle red dot. That one came out in December, just before Christmas. That one has quickly jumped to be one of our best sellers. Just a really robust red dot, and cantilever mount and everything is included. And then the other two, our micro dot and our 3x magnifier, just came out. So we just released those. That's kind of the picture of it. Here's kind of one on kind of the setup on one of our demo guns. So it on the demo gun, it kind of switches to it's a side swing 3x magnifier. And then our micro red dot, and the one thing we love about this micro red dot is it's not just AR specific. It comes with 3 different height mounts, so you can go from mounting it and co-witnessing on an AR platform. You can put the low mount on it and put it on a shotgun and go turkey hunting. You can even mount it onto, I mean, we have some on some target pistols and stuff that we use during testing and stuff. So the ability to mount that on any weapons platform is kind of a really big thing that we came out with that one.
So that brings up a good question too, because you talk shotguns, a lot of people think recoil. Warranty. So if you want to share a little bit about your warranty that you have.
Yeah, so we, I mean, obviously we're aware of every other warranty that was out there. So when we started RITON, we took every other warranty and kind of went a step further. So we say that we have the best warranty in the industry. We have an unlimited lifetime warranty, no registration, don't worry about filling out paperwork to transfer. It doesn't matter who owns it. If it's one of our optics, we warranty it for life. And part of one step further than that is we don't do refurbishing. We don't do secondhand models. We don't do any of that. If you break one of our optics and it's covered under the warranty, which our warranty pretty much covers everything except malicious type things, we send you a brand new optic, a replacement, and we do that within 48 hours. So no waiting 6 to 8 weeks to get it back, no getting a secondhand refurbished, nothing like that. If you break one of ours, within 48 hours, we get it back out the door, back out to you. And the goal is to not make you either be without a gun, especially during hunting season. That's a big one for us, or have to go borrow one from a buddy or do something stupid like that. If it breaks and it's something that was our fault, then we get you one as quickly as we can. So we actually are better normally than the 48-hour turnaround, but that's kind of the window that we give ourselves just in case. But most of the time, it's the same day that we receive it, we get another one back out the door.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. So any other new products on the horizon right now?
With the release of the Mod 7s and then the release of those, the micro and the magnifier, we're kind of, nothing is going to be coming out until the first part of next year. So we'll have a few new announcements. We'll definitely get back on with you because we have some pretty cool optics coming out. We'll be debuting at SHOT Show and a few other places. So
awesome.
I won't give you any teasers yet. Make you have to have me back on here in a little while.
Oh, that is no problem. We'll definitely do that. Yeah, no, SHOT Show definitely is going to be a fun time. So I also noticed you also do binoculars, I believe, right? We do, yeah, we do. We started our first one. We picked essentially the most popular binocular, which is a 10 by 42. We do an HD bino. It's HD glass. It's a magnesium alloy frame, so it's super lightweight, super strong. That was kind of our first one into it. Those came out last year. We do have plans for doing some a little bit higher magnification ones. Not quite set on it, but something like a 15 by 50 or even a little higher magnification. What about like spotting scopes?
Spotting scopes are on the horizon. We are kind of and bill ourselves as an outdoor optics company. So that encompasses rifle scopes, spotting scopes, laser rangefinders, trail cams. Those are all kind of things on the horizon. We do things a little bit differently. We're a family-owned business. We do the R&D, we do the design, we do the everything ourselves. and then get them, and we farm them out to some other people to help us with some of the testing and stuff, so we don't rush anything to the market. We do have some even reflex sights for pistols that we're working on. We're working on a lot of different ones. The biggest thing to us is we're not beholden to a board of directors. We're not beholden to some parent company that forces us to put out product before it's ready. So we set timelines for when we want stuff out. We're hoping to have a spotted scope out by the end of the year. But if it's not out and it's not ready, then we don't push it out. So
do you find like that more of your clients are into the hunting type aspect, or do you find that some more, or is it just a mix, like, you know, competitive shooting, hunting, self-defense type?
It's very geographically diverse. So
Okay.
It's kind of funny right now. I mean, we're located here in Arizona. We have a pretty good presence on the western side of the U.S., all the way up to Alaska and Texas and all the way down. So we kind of, it's interesting to see per different region. Alaska, we don't really sell many tactical optics. We sell a lot of hunting scopes. We sell a lot of long range stuff. Here in Arizona, where we're at, it's probably 70% tactical, 30% hunting. It honestly just depends. Idaho, we sell a ton of hunting scopes. So it's a lot really kind of geographically.
What do you find out here on the East Coast?
We, in all honesty, we have not really moved too much into the East Coast. We're right in the process now of kind of setting up some of our territories on the East Coast, and that's kind of our next big push as a company, to start kind of moving out to your guys' neck of the woods. A lot of hunting, a lot of the regulations in some states keep some of the tactical platforms out, which then kind of in turn keeps some of our tactical optics out of the mix. But there's been, so far as we've kind of opened up some of the new regions on the East Coast, there's been a really, really good push for a lot of our hunting optics, our 3-9s, our 4-16s.
I can see, you know, out here there's a lot of competitive shooters. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you can find an event on any day of the weekend, pretty much somewhere within a couple-hour ride of wherever we're at. Anywhere, like in the Carolinas, basically. There's many different ranges, many different places for events. Small ones, there's like small type club matches, and there's also a lot of bigger matches that go on too as well from here and there. So I could definitely see, like, you know, 1 to 4X and so forth. Like
I think as soon as that, our Mod 7 1 to 5 was going to be coming out a little later this month, and that's going to be a big push, because we developed the reticle in that one. We're calling our quick acquisition reticle. We developed the reticle in that one specifically to kind of cater to people that aren't doing a lot of MOA holdovers, aren't doing a lot of, you know, wind corrections, people that just need quick, really fast acquisition or really fast target engagement. I actually have, here, I'll grab one real quick. So this is actually one of the final production prototypes, if you can kind of see it. So it's a 1 to 5 by 24 with a 30 mil tube. We do cap turrets. It's not something you're dialing in elevation or anything on. We do full cap turrets. Like I said, this is part of our Mod 7 line. And you can kind of hear some of the as far as the turrets go. And a big one for this is, it might be a little hard to pick up a reticle, but we could try here. It's kind of what we call our quick acquisition reticle. I don't know if you guys can see it very well.
Now, is that a first focal plane, or how is that explained?
So this one is a second focal plane. It's a second focal plane, and what we did with it is we didn't, a lot of the subtensions and the hash marks are really small, because we don't want your eye to get caught up, and we did a lot of research and a lot of testing on it, of not letting your eye get caught up on some of the windage and elevation marks. It essentially, the way it kind of focuses the eye is it immediately takes it to the center. And that was kind of a big part of us, is we got some feedback on it that were like, oh man, I want some bigger holdovers, but this wasn't developed to shoot 6, 7, 8, 900 yards. It's a 5 power, you know, 1 to 5, and the whole point behind it was to get you on target, get that really quick acquisition. And like I said, it's always fun to try to.
Yeah, an optics and an optic is hard when you're dealing with the camera.
There you go. I don't know if you can see that or not, but.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the whole point behind it was just kind of quick, get you to that center focus and just get rounds down range. So we've had a lot of success. We've had a few of our 3-gun competitors that are already running some of the prototypes for us and testing.
If you can explain this, the first focal plane and second focal plane, what's the difference and what's the benefits and pros and cons type deal?
So second focal plane is, as you zoom, whatever you're looking at gets bigger, but your reticle stays the same size. So your reticle actually gets, in perspective, looks like it's getting smaller as you zoom, because the reticle takes up a one amount when it's at 1 power, and then as you zoom, the target behind it gets bigger. but the reticle stays the exact same size. So in a first focal plane, the reticle and the zoom go at the same rate. So if on a first focal plane, if say a mil dot at 100 yards or 500 yards or whatever takes up the size of say a human's head, as you zoom that through the entire zoom range, it maintains that same perspective. So a first focal plane is really good for ranging, if people who know how to do ranging with their reticle, because that reticle and once you do your homework on it, or you have a standardized reticle, once you figure out that a 6 foot tall man at 100 yards takes up, say, 3 mil dots within a scope, no matter what zoom range you're on in a first focal plane, he'll always take up 3 dots within that reticle. Where on a second focal plane, he may take up 1 dot, and then as you zoom in, he may take up 5 dots.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't maintain that perspective. So that's kind of the usage behind it. A lot is comfort level, a lot is what you're trained on, a lot is what you're actually using it for. People who want to do ranging, people who know how to do the ranging, definitely prefer a first focal plane, and they've been growing in a lot of popularity over the last really couple years, because everything kind of predated was always second focal plane. There wasn't really any first focal plane scopes out there. It's a little harder optical system to do, so it's a little more expensive sometimes than a second focal plane equivalent. But that's kind of the main reason behind it, is it helps you be able to range. It helps maintain that perspective throughout the entire zoom range.
Pretty cool. Well, I appreciate your time with us, and of course, RITONUSA.com. If you want to check out your full lineup of all your scopes and optics and so forth.
Yeah, and you had it on there. We actually just launched our new website last week, so we kind of changed it up a little bit and got some more features in there. Kind of anybody that tags any of their social media hashtag RITONUSA, that shows up in the feed at the bottom of the page.
Oh, cool.
Some of our pro staff's on there. If you get a chance to look at that, we have some. We didn't go the traditional kind of pro staff way with us, where like we just go out and sponsor shooters. We've kind of been able to partner up with some really cool people. Aaron Tippin, the country music star. We did.
I saw that.
Bill Kazmaier, the world's strongest man. We've
How
had a
did you
lot
get involved with Aaron Tippin? I gotta ask.
He actually approached us, so he's
Really?
done a lot with veterans, and he's worked with the USO, and he's worked with a ton of veteran organizations and veteran hunts and stuff over the years. And he heard about us and kind of what we're a veteran-owned company and some of the stuff we're doing, and he kind of reached out, and we started working with one another, and it actually is awesome. We picked he's currently on tour for his 25th year anniversary, and we picked 10 of his tour stops where he pulls up like the local chief of police or whoever, like the officer of the year, or whoever the local department wants to nominate, and he brings them up on stage during his concert and gives them a free scope and kind of gives them a plaque that kind of thanks them. And so that's kind of how we sponsor and work with him. And it's fun to be able to reach out into some of these different worlds outside of maybe the immediate shooting industry. We have a couple of Major League Baseball pitchers that are on our pro staff, and kind of the overarching kind of trend behind it is everybody, we kind of talk to them about, hey, we're big on giving back to veterans. We do a 40% military and first responder discount. We're huge on that. We want to get to a point where we're organizing veteran hunts and kind of giving back and taking people out and taking kids of veterans out and stuff like that. So the one thing we talked with all of our pro staff is, are you willing to kind of give back and help out with that side of it? If we can pay you, if we can't pay you, are you willing to do that? And every one of them didn't even skip a beat. And we're like, sign me up, let's do this. So
that's awesome.
We're adding kind of new ones every day, and kind of right at the top of the new website, it has a pro staff tab. You can check that out.
And you mentioned kids too. That's important. The next generation is firearm owners.
Yep.
Getting them to learn the whole safety aspect of it and getting them in the experience of it, because there's the whole political side of the firearms and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't encourage the sport of hunting or competitive shooting, or even just the Second Amendment in general, when it comes to defense and so forth, that's going to slip away.
Yeah.
So it's always great to be able to pass that to the next generation and teach them.
And a lot of that is just the education, getting over that quote unquote fear, getting over, letting them have a good educational, but also just a fun time being around other kids, being around other people that know what they're doing. We have some world-class instructors that help us out. We have just a really good group of people that have kind of immediately just raised their hand and jumped on board with us and want to help out. So the opportunity to kind of not just sell optics, that's not what this is all about. Obviously it helps fund other things, but if we can kind of give back and do some of the other stuff along the way, that's more of what it's about.
I appreciate it again. And on that note, too, as you mentioned about having fun and shooting, as always, everybody go out and have some fun shooting.